Hey there, welcome back to Midlife and Glowing. I'm Alicia.
And I'm Nicole, and today we're really excited to talk about all things cozy for fall.
Yep, having a fall cozy dance. Okay, there's just something magical about the season. The air gets crisp, the leaves start to turn, the smell of fall is in the air, and suddenly everything feels a little slower, softer, and more nostalgic. And what we love about leaning into cozy is that it's more than just pumpkin spice lattes, which I'm not even actually sure I like. Ooh. I don't know if I tried them, but I know they're all the rage.
Yeah. I can't say I have either because I'm sure they're full of just sugary
I'm sure I have.
Who knows
but
what.
But it's not something I've reordered,
I
don't know if I like it. I don't know.
Yeah.
And fuzzy socks, though we're not mad about those, cozy can be a real form of self-care, especially in midlife. It's about creating comfort, grounding your nervous system, and finding joy in the small rituals that carry you through the season of life.
Yeah, fall just has this special feeling. For me, there's a lot of nostalgia in different ways. Even though it's the end of summer, I equate it with new beginnings because of school and a fresh school year. You know, throughout all of the school that I've done in my life, it was such a fun feeling to be able to start a fresh year. It just has this feeling. And also it's the start of cozy movie season. Chris and I love kicking back with a good movie. And it makes me think of cozy foods like soups, chilies, cinnamon spice, and a cozy cup of tea. Even though there's a nip in the air, usually in the fall, it feels super warm and cozy. And I am excited about having fires in the fireplace again too. And about that pumpkin spice latte, I just was thinking, I don't get them usually from, typical coffee shops because of all the syrups and garbage that they put in them. But you could totally make your own with the actual pumpkin spice mix. So we get those pumpkin spices from Trader Joe's has a really good pumpkin spice.
But I think that's
pumpkin pie spices.
Is that limited edition?
It is. They only have it in the fall.
Scoop that up.
So you could
stock up.
Scoop it up. I always do. In the fall, I always get 2 little things of it so that I can use it. But throw that into your coffee with a little coconut cream. And
you could even whip it up
spice latte
together.
Yeah, totally.
Yummy. So yes to everything you said. I have to say I have mixed feelings about fall. I love summer. I love warmth. I love the sun. I love, being in the water. I love all of that. So, it's hard to see summer go, but I do love fall. I do. There's just something so special about it. But I think my hang up is that I know winter's coming. And
same.
Yeah, winter just gets so long.
It does. It's hard to really embrace fall when you know that something that you really don't like is just around it's just beyond that.
Looming.
Yeah.
It's looming behind fall, and it's just hard to.
Yeah.
And I am trying because I love it. There's just something, I said, so special about it. Something's in the air. You get all of these feels, but it's just knowing that winter's coming. So I definitely need to move to a 3-season state. So if you know of any 3-season states, let me know. Where's a great place that does not have fall and snow and ice and
No, you mean that does have fall but not winter.
Yes, thank you.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, same. I want that too.
Let us know.
I would love that. I will say, Christmas Day having snow is a wonderful thing. It is magical and beautiful. But after that one day of snow,
and
I can be totally done with it.
That's when you travel to, we'll travel to that.
Right.
But I could absolutely do without it.
Agreed.
So grab your blanket, your favorite mug, maybe even curl up in front of the fireplace, and let's dive into all the ways we're bringing cozy into fall this year.
Let's start with food, because fall is basically soup and stew season in my house. Soups, stews, and chilies are cozy classics, but they're also incredibly supportive for midlife health. They're easy to digest, you can pack them with protein and fiber, and they're the ultimate comfort food without the crash. I love making soups and stews and then freezing leftovers for meals later. Cutting down on cooking, but you're still getting a really nourishing home-cooked meal. You're making things super easy on yourself.
Yes, exactly. And I love how a pot of soup can double as meal prep. You make it once, and then you've got lunches or dinners ready for days. Plus, the smell of it simmering on the stove instantly makes the whole house feel warmer. I recently saw something where they had a girls' soup night and everybody brought a different type of soup and, Tupperwares, glass ones. And so they could, exchange soups and then each of them bring the other soups home. And I thought that was a great idea. Yeah, isn't that so fun?
So fun.
And actually, we're trying to still pin down a date, but we're doing a meal prep, freezer prep day, with the ladies. And we're trying to figure out, okay, what should we all have? What should we all make? And, one thing that is clear is that we're definitely making a stew or soup for, to freeze. So I'm very much looking forward to that day because it's so nice to be able to go in your freezer and pull out those meals.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's so much funner with other people.
I would agree. I'm not a huge, I don't love to cook, but I do love to do it in that type of situation where you have everybody in the kitchen, everybody's kind of, you're conversing and you're all kind of making a day of it. I like a collaborative effort in the kitchen.
Yes.
Then 100%. I like to be there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's such a fun and genius idea, though, for a get-together. I love that. You make something to share, and you get to go home with different types of yummy soups that you can exchange, and you can exchange recipes with that.
Yes.
So that's super fun. Farmers markets this time of year are incredible, too. Pumpkins, squash, zucchini, apples, root veggies. Cooking with seasonal produce isn't just delicious, it's nourishing on another level too. There's something about eating what's growing right now that feels so aligned with the season. And Alicia, I know you have an awesome garden and you're just telling me about the fact that you have a bunch of spaghetti squash. And you've been a canning machine over the last few years too.
Yes. I never thought I was that person. I am finding out new things about myself. And hey, it's true. It is never too late to learn new things. But I am a regular old Martha Stewart over here, and I never thought. But yeah, I did. Okay, we just finished canning 29 pints.
Whoa.
No. 29 quarts and 20 pints of stewed tomatoes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
You were busy.
Then, very busy. And then all of the tomatoes I have left, I'm going to make tomato juice. So I just run it through my juicer and I can those as well. So it's so nice when you're making these stews and soups to be able to go in your canning archive and pull out, all of that. I've done apple canning, beans, we've made pickles, gosh, so much stuff.
That's so
applesauce. And we have apple trees, pear trees. We have a peach tree, but we only got one peach this year, which was kind of funny. We called it our golden peach. There was only one this year. So, sometimes you have that.
Yeah.
But I think I just counted the spaghetti squash. We had, I think, 27 spaghetti squash. And it was only one plant. So some years you have that where it's just why did I get so many this year? It was one plant.
Yeah.
And I just have spaghetti squash coming out of my ears.
That's
I've had that
awesome.
with zucchini. It's you plant one and it just is a huge producer. So right now we're dealing with spaghetti squash overload. And I think you shared a spaghetti squash recipe that was just so good.
Mm-hmm.
And I made that and everybody loves it. It did not last long, as food never does in my house. But I was also looking into if that's something that you can preserve, freeze.
Oh, yeah.
So it looks like there is a way to do it.
Ooh.
So I'm going to have to look into that too.
Okay.
But yes.
That's super fun.
Yeah. It's fun. I've been having fun with it. I've been learning a lot over the years.
That's awesome.
And it's just so nice to know where your food is coming from.
Yes.
You're planting it yourself, and then, you're able to enjoy that harvest in years, future years. I have stuff down there that is still good that I'm still able to use from years ago.
That's awesome.
So it's just really nice.
That is nice.
Not having to read labels because you know exactly what's in it and where it came from.
Yeah.
So, talking about apples, I have several apple trees, and, I've canned apple sauces, apple ciders. I'd run my apples through the juicer and can apple cider. And I have done apple crisp, there's so many different things that you can do it. Bake apples with cinnamon, even, like I said, the homemade applesauce. those smells just scream cozy.
So good.
And it's like you can smell it from outside.
Yeah.
And even if you're not into baking, even slicing apples with nut butter and sprinkle cinnamon, it feels festive and nourishing.
Totally.
This year, I still have a bunch of apples from, canned from last year. So I'm like, I'm not going to can any this year. So I sent a message to my family nearby and I said, hey, you know what? These apples are really good. If you want to come and grab some, just let me know. Like, I don't want to see them go to waste. But, my husband and sons are happy to see them drop on the ground because we have a lot of wildlife around here. So, the deer or other animals, they come through and they
get a little snack.
Take whatever. Yeah, they take whatever's been dropped on the ground. But this year, I said, all right, we're just eating them raw, or if I want to make a batch of applesauce here or there.
There you go.
But I'm sharing this year.
That's awesome.
Because sometimes you have more than you need, and I'm just spreading the wealth.
There you go. Apples make me think of the little farmer and just farmers markets in general. And that makes me think of this last week. Chris and I had gone to the grocery store and we came back. And there's a little girl next door. And she was like, hi, we're going to the farmers market. So she was like super stoked. She's 4 years old. She was super stoked to go to the farmers market. So their farmers markets are good, not just for us adults, for all the fresh produce and everything, but the little kiddies like them too. And things like the little farmer out by you.
Yeah, going this weekend.
Oh, fun. And that's another great place for kids too. The pumpkin patches and the
hay rides.
Yes.
Yes.
They love it. That's so fun. And let's not forget cozy drinks too. Spiced mocktails, herbal teas, homemade apple cider, pumpkin spice drinks like we talked about. And hey, midlife is a great time to explore alternatives to alcohol, especially if wine or cocktails are starting to mess with your sleep. I know it does for me. I literally had 1 glass of wine last night and could not fall asleep for the life of me. So the struggle is real. A warm spiced mocktail can give you that cozy ritual without the sleep disruption or waking up feeling like you're destroyed.
Yes, definitely.
And also there's something about getting back to a routine in the fall after summer. Summers are sometimes chaotic. You got a lot going on and your schedule can get a little bit off. So even though most people don't love meal prep, this time of year it actually is nice to do those kinds of things because it gives a little bit more structure in that part of your life and kind of helps you get back on track with your schedule.
Yes, I completely agree. And as long as you're making a mess in the kitchen, you might as well make a day of it. And your future self will thank you.
Definitely.
All right, let's talk clothes. One of my favorite topics. Because for me, one of the coziest parts of fall is transitioning my wardrobe. I love fall fashion. I think it might just be my very favorite. Sweater weather is so comforting, and I love pulling out the boots again. Fall fashion really lets you play with layers and textures. You got your soft knits, your flannel shirts, your scarves. Even the colors, deep greens, warm browns, burgundy, and burnt orange, which we're both sporting today if you're not watching. So cozy dressing doesn't have to mean frumpy. It can still feel chic and stylish.
Oh, exactly. I love me a good pair of jeans in the fall, and layering on a flannel or cozy sweater is basically my fall wardrobe. I also do like being able to wear jackets again too, like a cute jean jacket, for example.
Oh yes, definitely. And a good pair of jeans, a cozy oversized sweater, ankle boots, you're all set. And it feels like you can breathe, move, live your life while still feeling pulled together. I also love that you can still wear your dresses and skirts in the fall by layering them with fleece-lined tights, tall boots, hats, jackets, sweaters. You can just layer in so many different pieces to pull an outfit together. And midlife is the perfect time to reframe your style. Instead of chasing trends, fall is a chance to ask, what feels good on my body right now? What fabrics feel comforting? What silhouettes make me feel confident? Cozy can still be elevated. Get creative with prints and colors too. Fashion should feel like a fun way to express yourself.
I love that. And the other half of cozy is definitely the home. Lighting is everything. Swapping out those bright overhead lights for warm lamps, non-toxic candles, even fairy or twinkle lights. It just changes the mood instantly. A fire in the fireplace is just the perfect ambiance.
Oh, definitely. And fall scents. Apple, cinnamon, pumpkin spice. Essential oils in a diffuser or cleaner non-toxic candles make such a difference. I'll light one in the kitchen and suddenly everything feels like fall, even if it's still 75 degrees out.
And textures too. Throw blankets, fuzzy socks, cozy robes. Creating cozy little nooks in your house makes it easier to slow down, like a dedicated chair with a blanket and book. I definitely have been reading more in the evenings, so having my little amber book light around is nice too.
Yes, and I find myself visiting the library more in the fall. There's just something cozy about curling up with a book. Okay, let's talk activities. For us, with growing up with hunters, fall meant hunting season for the guys, which meant the ladies got together for crafting and girls' weekend. I have fond memories of getting together with grandma, aunts, cousins, my sister's mom, where we would do different craft projects. Some definitely turned out better than others, for sure. Can we all remember my Q-tip project? My Q-tip project that I still have not heard the end of. But, yes, it's all great, and if they turn out even better, but it's just fun getting together.
Yeah, definitely. It was so fun. Watching fall movies and playing games. At least in the Midwest, fall is a great time for more of those indoor hobbies. And, crocheting has been a form of therapy ever since Dad passed for me. And it's definitely more of a winter or fall activity for sure. So cozy hobbies like that keep your hands busy and your mind calm. And they're great for this time of year. So for me, crocheting is meditative, it's creative, and it fits right into the cozy theme, especially if you're making a blanket or a scarf or something warm.
Yes, this is definitely the time I go into my Pinterest boards and do the craft projects that I have pinned. I also like doing puzzles, and we tend to play more games as a family in the fall too.
Yeah, and the cool thing is these little rituals, diffusing a cozy scent, wrapping up in a blanket, sipping tea, doing something creative, playing games. These are great ways to calm your nervous system and tap into that rest and digest mode too, which just adds to that comforting feeling. And that's powerful in midlife when stress and hormones can throw everything out of balance.
Right. Okay, let's get into cozy entertainment. Fall is the perfect season for nostalgic movies.
Yes, like Harry Potter marathons, Hocus Pocus, Lord of the Rings, Hobbits. Whimsical, magical, a little spooky, but not too much.
And if you want something moodier, maybe Sleepy Hollow, Dracula, Corpse Bride, even Labyrinth or The Princess Bride, they're whimsical but perfect for cozy nights in.
Yeah. So before bed, I know having a TV in your bedroom is frowned upon because the light can impact your sleep, of course. We do have one in our bedroom, but what we do is we'll put on a movie before bed and then we'll actually turn the screen off. So we turn the picture off. So if you come into our room, it looks like the TV's off, but it's actually the movie is playing. And we do that. It's kind of almost in a way like white noise, but we like to have a movie playing as we're falling asleep. So we'll put the sleep timer on. So after, like 30 minutes or an hour, it just automatically turns off. But a couple of the movies that you just mentioned are like our favorites to put on repeat for most nights, like Sleepy Hollow, Corpse Bride, The Princess Bride. Those are some of our favorites that we play. Even Beetlejuice, that's another, great fall movie. And that's another one of our favorites for before bedtime. So that's just a fun little ritual that we have.
Yeah. And as someone that doesn't watch very much TV at all, this is the time of year that I do want to watch movies and shows. Hocus Pocus is a must every year. Last year, my daughter and I had a Harry Potter marathon. And this year, we want to have a Gilmore Girls marathon.
That's awesome. I love that. That's so fun. Chris and I will do that with Harry Potter and with Lord of the Rings movies too. And we have the extended version of the movies, which are like 3.5 to 4 hours long. So
that's a big commitment.
That's a big commitment. We like to do it like on the weekends. Like when I was doing a lot more crocheting, we would, throw on a movie. Sometimes I'll be on my computer or whatever. It's kind of nice to do that kind of thing if you are doing something else, to kind of have that in the background, something cozy in the background. But last year, our neighbors were telling us that they have a Lord of the Ring party once a year with friends where, and I forget, it's on a special day that has something to do with Lord of the Rings, sometime in the fall. But they start this get together in the morning and everyone brings food and they'll have like second breakfast, 11sies. Because if you've seen the first Lord of the Rings in the Fellowship of the Rings, where Pippin talks about like, having breakfast and then second breakfast and then, lunch, supper, dinner. So anyway, they have all of these different meals. So we thought that was so fun because we are definitely diehard Lord of the Rings fans. But this time of year, those are the kinds of things that are just super cozy and fun.
Oh my gosh, yes. That sounds like so much fun. We should definitely do that.
Yeah, I would love it.
We'll have to Google the day.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I wish I could remember, but we'll figure it out.
Yes. And books too. I know for me, I have reread Twilight this time of year. Yes, I am a twihard. But reading by lamplight under a blanket, it really just does not get much cozier than that.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe in front of a fire, right? And we cannot forget talking about football. In my house, football Sunday is sacred. Not to mention Monday Night Football and then Thursday Night Football. Football is definitely a big part of fall for us over here. Chris is just absolutely loves football. And, you know, it's rubbed off on me. So, not that I didn't like it before, but it's extra special. And this is where I like to do my crocheting while he has football on. But I do also enjoy watching the games too. And then game day food is super cozy too, like chili and then a lot of the other foods that we already touched on. But I do also like veggies with fun dips for game snacks. That's also a nice touch.
Oh, yeah. I'm only in it for the snacks, honestly. You know, we will get together and watch the Packer games. But like I said, I'm only in it for the food and to maybe play games with the other ladies. Yeah, I'm not much for watching sports on TV. But I do like getting together. I mean, that's fun. And, you know, my boys and husband are all about the football. You know, they got their fantasy leagues going on and talking about whatever. There was a trade recently with the Packers, and oh my gosh, my one son would not stop going on and on and on about his excitement for that one. You know, he came in the door like screaming for me, and we
were on the phone at the time.
Yes,
and he was Micah Parsons just got to the Packers.
And he did not stop talking about that for days. So he's very, very, very excited about that.
Yeah.
But yes, they love that. But this is also the start of hockey season. So, you know, I've mentioned before my sons play hockey and they've been playing since they were 2. So I love this time of year when I get to go to their games and watch them play. You know, there was a time where I wasn't able to see them in person, but I'd still be able to watch them on TV, you know, when they were playing out of state or when they were playing out of country too. So I enjoyed this season for hockey season.
Yeah. This season has nostalgia for you for,
you
know, watching the hockey games. I love that.
Oh, yes. And, you know, all of the years that they played and all of the friendships that we gained and, you know, the different activities and all of the travel. And we had a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot. Yeah. It was intense. Like, being a hockey parent is not for the faint of heart, for sure. But, gosh, it was fun. We had a lot of fun.
Oh, I love that. All right, let's talk about fall self-care rituals. This time of year, I do tend to take more evening time to unwind, like stretching, doing an evening PEMF mat session with spa music.
This is where cozy really ties back into midlife self-care. So think about simple rituals, walks outside to hear the crunch of leaves, apple orchards, like we talked about, pumpkin patches. You know, it's such a great way to find joy and community.
Absolutely. We love our walks. So I try to get out as often as I can while I can before winter comes. But so I definitely soak it up in the fall because I know I'm close to the season of not getting to be able to be outside for my daily walks. And other forms of cozy movement count too. So gentle yoga, stretching, or simply strolling through a farmer's market. It doesn't have to be intense. It just has to feel good. And the slower pace of fall is an invitation to recharge. Herbal teas in the evening, Epsom salt baths with essential oils, journaling, giving yourself a foot massage even.
And sleep. Fall is the perfect season to reset your circadian rhythm. Shorter days, cooler nights, cozy bedding. Create a bedtime ritual with amber lights, chamomile tea, maybe a fall scented diffuser.
Yes, I love sleeping with the windows open just a bit when it's really chilly out like that. And then you just get such a good sleep when there's a nip in the air, but you're cozy under your comforter. Like, that's just the best feeling.
There is literally nothing better than that. Love it. Okay, we thought it'd be fun to add a little something different.
Yeah, we've been talking about all cozy vibes, but now it's time to put each other on the spot with some fall-themed rapid-fire questions.
So this is our cozy fall this or that. So no overthinking, just quick answers.
Okay.
Are you ready?
All ready.
Pumpkin spice or hot apple cider?
Ooh. My own homemade pumpkin spice latte, so there's no sugar in it.
Okay, I think I got to go with hot apple cider, but homemade
Yummy.
where it's not filled with the extra garbage.
Cozy socks or fuzzy blanket?
Fuzzy blanket.
Same.
Apple pie or pumpkin pie?
Ooh, that's a hard one.
This
Pumpkin.
is a tough one.
Pumpkin.
I think I got to go apple.
Oof, yeah. Haunted house or pumpkin patch?
Pumpkin patch.
Same.
I do not like to be scared. Like no horror movies
No.
or haunted houses
Yeah.
for me. Pumpkin patch, 100%.
Yep.
Ooh. Harry Potter marathon or Hocus Pocus night?
I love Hocus Pocus, but I'm going Harry Potter marathon.
Man, this is such a hard one.
I know.
Because I feel like we do both every year. Like it is a ritual. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is rapid fire. Choose. Harry Potter. That is my final decision.
Caramel apple or roasted marshmallows?
Oh, caramel apple. I don't really like marshmallows.
Same.
Knit sweater or flannel shirt?
Ooh. Flannel shirt. Ooh.
I'm going knit sweater.
Reading a book by the fire or watching a fall movie?
Reading a book by the fire.
Fall movie for me.
Chili night or soup night?
Ooh. I'll say chili. I love both, but
Yeah, I mean, I thought chili was soup, but okay. I didn't make these questions. I'm just going with it. Depends on what kind of chili. I don't like spicy, so I'm going to go soup.
okay. Cinnamon scent or vanilla scent?
I think cinnamon. I'm not huge on vanilla unless it's mixed in with other things.
I'm going to say vanilla.
Okay. Rainy day inside or crisp fall walk outside?
Ooh, crisp fall walk outside for sure.
Yes, same.
Apple orchard or farmer's market?
Gosh, this is tough. I'm going to go apple orchard.
I'm going to say farmer's market.
Okay. Corn maze or hayride?
Ooh, let's go with the maze.
Okay, I'm going with the hayride.
All right. Sweet potato casserole or roasted Brussels sprouts?
Oh gosh, I think we know what the answer to this one is. I'm going no-brainer sweet potato casserole.
Yeah, I got to go with the sweet potato casserole myself.
Hard pass on anything Brussels sprout related. Scary movie or cozy rom-com?
Scary movie for sure. I hate cozy rom-coms.
What? I do not like scary movies. Oh man.
Well, it depends on how scary we're talking. As long as we're not talking like a horror movie, I'm thinking like Sleepy Hollow, that kind of Beetlejuice, quote unquote scary.
Oh, I'm going with the cozy rom-com
Okay.
all day
All right.
long.
All right.
Yep. It is getting to be Hallmark season.
Yeah.
Hallmark movie season.
No,
Which
can't do
always
it.
ends with a kiss. Spoiler alert.
Yep. I'm going to retract my statement a little bit. I said I hate cozy rom-coms. I don't hate them, but definitely the Hallmark Channel is no way. Not a chance. Not a chance.
I feel like I have nervous sweat for them. Like I feel
Right.
awkward for them.
Exactly.
I mean,
Oh,
but
I
I do
can't.
find myself sucked in because, Mom and our other sister, they
Yeah.
love the Hallmark
I
Channel.
know.
And I do
Grandma?
get sucked in, but yes, it's not my first choice.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't watch a whole lot of TV,
Yeah.
so if they have it on, I'll find myself like, again, with those nervous sweats for them.
Right. Okay, let's switch to some ad-lib cozy fall questions. What's your ultimate cozy fall meal that always makes you feel comforted?
I definitely soup, for sure.
Yeah. I would say chili. Chili just feels like fall,
100%. Okay. Do you have a favorite childhood fall memory that still makes you smile?
Yeah, I would say just, it's not a specific one, but just in general in the fall, things when we were kids, like we'd watch some of the movies that we'd watch, right? Like, I don't know if you
Yes.
remember, but do you remember the movie Mr. Boogedy? We watched that when we were kids, like over and over. And
I don't remember.
oh my gosh, like things like that. I wish I could remember some other good ones. I feel like that is, and just the feeling of fall does make me think of when I was a kid and all of the school,
Yeah.
everything.
I'll say, as we said before, we grew up with hunters, dads, uncles, were surrounded by hunters. So we would always have girls' weekend. So I'll say, some of my favorite memories from fall would be, all of us girls going to grandma's or other aunts and staying there for the weekend and having
Yes.
food, good food.
Yes.
There was always a good movie on, and then doing crafts.
Yeah. And that was super fun. That actually makes me think like we did watch, I don't know if you remember, but on those weekends a lot.
It.
We watched it at
Somebody-
like grandma's
yes.
house.
Yes.
We watched it at Grandma's house, and like
Far too
I
young.
was
Nightmares.
traumatized.
Oh, yes.
I was traumatized.
I don't-
That might be the reason I hate scary movies so much.
It could be. Like I
actual
feel like
scary
I was
movies.
like, I was not double digits in age. Like I was under the age of 10
And
by
that
like
movie
a
is
lot.
traumatic now as an
Yes.
adult. Oh my
Well,
gosh.
I haven't seen it since, but
Yeah.
like no.
Not a chance.
No.
No way. All right. What's one piece of clothing you pull out every fall that feels like coming home?
Well, definitely my boots
Okay.
or my coats. Like
Yeah.
I have, a great collection of coats and boots that I
Mm-hmm.
love. So I'll say that I'm not sticking to one piece of clothing because that's not how I roll.
Not doing it. I will say Chris got me a jacket. It's a jean jacket, but it's Sherpa lined. That is
I have
like
the same one.
Yes. Ooh, I love that one. Mm-hmm.
Yep, so good.
Yeah.
I actually forgot about it. Thanks for reminding me.
You're welcome.
It's in my closet, but I don't know.
Feels
why
like you got something new now.
But you know
doesn't it?
what? Yeah, I haven't needed it
Yeah.
because it's been
Yeah.
warmer, but now I definitely will. Okay, moving right along. Which cozy fall scent instantly puts you in the mood for the season?
Apple. I'm just thinking of like applesauce being cooked on the stove. Like, ooh, that's it right there.
Yeah, like apple spice, like apple pie. Yes,
Yeah.
that scent
Yeah.
for sure.
What's your favorite fall tradition or one you'd love to start now in midlife?
I think having like the soup party that we talked about.
yeah.
That would be so fun. And like the meal prepping, the crafts. Like I love
Yeah.
the crafts. And we do generally do that. So I would say that.
That's fun. I would like to say that combined with a Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter marathon, right?
yeah,
Like you're doing
for sure.
crafts while you got the fun mystical magical movies on in the background. That'd be where
Love
it's
it.
at.
If you had a whole Saturday to yourself in October, how would you spend it?
Maybe like an at-home spa day, like doing a little red light PEMF, maybe a little sauna session, throw on some music, maybe bake up a batch of apple sauce so that I got the scent in the air, and then maybe pull out a super stew that I had made on the girls' get-together weekend so that it's super easy to just pop, on the stove and you got a nice easy meal. But a super cozy day like that, I think. And then throwing on some fun fall movies in the background. That sounds pretty awesome.
That does sound pretty awesome. This is going to be surprising because, I'm not a big TV person. But if I had a whole Saturday to myself, but I'll add in my daughter too. She's got to be part of that.
Yeah.
So it's her and I. We're going to have that Gilmore Girls marathon.
There you go. Yeah.
We're going to have that.
Love it.
So that's how I'd like to spend it. And, obviously good food.
Yeah.
Maybe like a soup. And
Right.
I can pull out one of my canned apple sauces from last year. Have
you
that.
What's the coziest fall activity that doesn't cost a dime?
Definitely going for walks.
Yeah.
I love that. Like there's just some, put on a little jacket
Yeah.
or sweater. And yes, the leaves crunching.
Totally.
The atmosphere of, the colors of the leaves changing.
Yeah.
Like that's awesome.
Totally. Complete agreement there. Maybe hiking through the woods.
Yeah.
Even better. Yeah, mine is the same.
Do you lean more spooky Halloween cozy or wholesome harvest cozy?
Well, I don't know what wholesome harvest. Well, I don't know what this is in reference to exactly.
I don't know either.
I mean,
if it's like decor, let's
Right.
say it's like it's decor.
Decor. Okay, well, here's the thing. I don't do decor.
Okay.
The only time I decorate is for Christmas. So I guess that's the time that I do decor, but I don't do like fall decor.
I mean, I say I have a mix. I probably prefer wholesome harvest cozy, but with the kids growing up, like we had more of the Halloween stuff
Yeah.
for them. So I'll still put some of that stuff out as well. But my preference is, no, because I've seen a lot of really cute stuff lately too, like ghost stuff, and it's so cute.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm saying a mix.
Okay. Love it. Okay, that was so much fun. I love how even the silly little questions bring out what makes each of us feel cozy.
Right. I love it. It was a lot of fun. And it's such a reminder that cozy looks different for everyone. But it's all about what makes you feel grounded and joyful this season.
Exactly.
We have a few honorable mentions, I think, that we failed to touch on that I think that we probably just have to give a shout out to, because they are great fall activities.
Yeah.
That I don't want to fail to,
that
I don't want to leave out.
About. Yeah.
We got to talk about them. Yes, definitely. Okay, so let's just list them off. Let's dive in. Fall photos. This time of year makes such a great time for the perfect backdrop for your fall photos. And then you have like all of the neutral, natural colors, you know, like the rust colors, the burnt orange, the browns, the neutral tones that just look so good in family photos.
Yeah.
So yes, fall photos for sure. Great time of year for them.
Yeah. I will say I am Chris and I are both the worst at taking pictures, and we don't do the picture thing. Like we always say, shoot, we don't have any pictures of ourselves. So we need to like do the actual professional photo, and fall would be the perfect time to do it. So
definitely.
Talk to him about
I got to say, I'm not so great about pictures either. Yeah. I would like to get better. So add it to my list of things I'd like
Your fall bucket list, right?
Yes, exactly.
Scenic drives.
We would travel, you know, so much around this time for my boys' hockey.
Yeah.
And we travel all over the state and, you know, other states, and seeing the splendor of fall was amazing. You know, all the leaves changing. You got reds and oranges and yellows.
Yeah.
It was just so cool to see.
That's awesome. You know, I will say that in October one year, there was a family friend who was getting married in the New York area, but it was like the rural New York. So it was like literally reminded me of the Sleepy Hollow, like Johnny Depp, Christina Ricci, Sleepy Hollow. Like they, at the beginning where they show like the countryside and everything, and like the rolling hills and the rivers and the fall colored trees. It was absolutely beautiful. So yeah, that makes me think of that.
Yeah, I think it'd be so awesome to do like a whole fall tour. I would also like to go to like Salem.
Oh yeah.
I think that'd be cool. Like or like, you know, all of the cutesy little towns that are like totally fall driven. Like that would be so much fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. And obviously if you go to the pumpkin patch, you have to get a pumpkin, and then you have to take it home and carve it. I mean, I have so many fond memories of us, you know, sitting around the table pumpkin carving.
Yeah.
I know that one year we had, and this was as adults, okay? One year we had all gone to mom and dad's, and mom and dad set up the garage with tables for all of us. All the kids had them, all of us adults had them, and we all carved pumpkins that year.
Yeah.
And it was, gosh, that was fun. And it's fun to like take out the pumpkin seeds and roast them in the oven.
Yeah.
So good.
So fun. Definitely a fun fall cozy thing. Also, I will say baking. I love making like healthier versions of baked goods. And this is just the best time of year to do that. Having the house smelling so good and making something fun. I think this is, you know, definitely a fun fall activity.
Definitely. Like I'm thinking pumpkin muffins, pumpkin cream cheese muffins, you know, the pies, the apple crisps,
banana bread.
I made banana zucchini bread.
Oh, yeah.
And all things zucchini.
I actually just made a fudgy zucchini brownies that we have actually on our healthy desserts guide list on our website. So if you want a fudgy zucchini brownies recipe, we'll link it in the show notes. Yeah.
Yes. And homemade breads.
Ooh, yeah.
Like, so good.
Yeah.
And there's nothing better than the smell of homemade bread. So good. My daughter had started her own sourdough starter, and she was doing that for a while, and I can't eat gluten, so I wasn't able to try it. And I know you can make gluten-free sourdough starter, that kind of thing, but hers was not. And my husband and the boys and her, they loved it.
Yum.
They loved it, and it smelled so good. She also made homemade butter.
Ooh.
Yes. Yep. So she's
Another
also
little Betty Crocker.
Yeah, I know, she's Martha Stewart too. So it's kind of fun to see her. She loves being in the kitchen. She did not inherit that from me. I mean, I will say, if I have the time and I have the ingredients and I have a plan, then I love it.
Sure.
I do.
Yeah.
You know, I enjoy it. It's my time. I'll turn on music and I'll make, you know, I'll like make the best of it, right?
Yeah.
And so it's not all bad.
Right.
It's not all bad. for me.
Yeah.
But when it's like you're on a time crunch, that's when it kind of gets hard and you're missing ingredients or you don't have a plan. That's when meals and cooking get a little hard. But
Yeah.
anyhow, those were the honorable mentions that we wanted to not forget about because all so good. Okay, so that's our cozy fall roundup. We hope it gave you some inspiration and a little more warmth and comfort into your season.
Cozy isn't just about candles or sweaters. It's about creating moments that make you feel grounded, nourished, and joyful in the middle of all the midlife busyness.
And if you tried any of these cozy ideas we talked about today, whether it's a soup recipe, a fall style piece, or a cozy ritual at home, we'd love to hear about it. Share it with us on TikTok or YouTube. We're at Midlife and Glowing.
And if you enjoyed this episode, take a minute to follow the podcast and leave us a review. It helps other midlife women like you find the show. We would be so grateful.
We'll be back next week with another episode to help you glow through midlife. Until then, stay warm, stay cozy, and enjoy everything this season has to offer.
Thanks for hanging out with us on Midlife and Glowing. If you loved this episode, it would mean the world to us if you'd follow the show, leave us a review, or share it with a friend who's glowing through midlife right alongside you. Let's make it our best era yet. We'll see you next time.